Alright everybody, I could be talking about this for fucking hours, but I was watching the Miniland episode from The Right Opinion. I love The Right Opinion. Sometimes it gets a little bit too technical for my liking as far as like vocabulary is concerned. But anyway, I'm going to keep this short, which is I cannot stand when YouTubers use mental health conditions as an excuse. I cannot stand it. I hate it. I can understand when a mental health like somebody who's suffering from a mental illness does something that is not within their norm. I understand that completely. The problem is a lot of successful YouTubers know their audience, especially YouTube now censor stuff. So a lot of successful YouTubers, their audience is kids, and when you only show 25% of your personality to those people, and you're not willing, which bugs me the most, is I get it. If you've no longer doing like a 40-hour job and YouTube's your pastime, but now YouTube is your main job, you don't want to jeopardize that. You want to keep the momentum going. The problem I have is it's much more beneficial. Not every video has to be 3 million views. Not every video has to be a crazy prop hunt video like, oh, can you believe it, with an old face and thumbnail with a arrow and a ring. Sometimes just discussing very important issues is much more beneficial to maybe there's one person out there. You might reach one person out there who's having a really fucking hard time, and they're like, holy shit, my favourite YouTuber's going through it too. But they never show that because they don't want to break brand. They want to be shown as the fun-loving guy, the place you go when you want a break, which I totally understand. I get it. That's your place. You don't want to compromise those values, like that income. But you got to take a risk, man, every now and again. And I hate when a YouTuber has done something shitty, suddenly that is just the excuse, like, oh, my mental health and stuff, because it becomes so sincere. People have been watching said YouTuber for 4, 5, 6 years, not a mention. Suddenly something goes wrong, the YouTube money is in the old decline. Guess what? Been dealing with some mental health issues. You could have discussed that throughout your whole fucking run. It could be so normalised it's not even anything. Like, people who do mental health videos could have made this so normal by now that when somebody does a mental health video, it's not even, it's just part of the content. It's just content. But I get why it's not. But I'm so sick of people who get caught in shady shit using mental health as a way to, like, would you call it, exonerate themselves? Like, oh no, I wasn't responsible for that. My mental health condition did. I've had mental health conditions since I was like 19, and over the years I've discussed it many times on my channel, because I know at some point I am going to do some wacky shit. It's going to happen. I'm going to upload a video that doesn't make sense. But the thing is, nobody watches my shit, and they scale these cunts, so it doesn't really matter. But when you have like 2 million 14-year-olds, people are like, oh, what the hell? And a lot of younger people, which I really appreciate, and I think it's very loving, is they're willing to believe. They're willing to, like, we give you that chance, man. We hear you. Which I absolutely love about younger people. They're willing to give you that chance to come back. And I feel like a lot of YouTubers, though, that are making hundreds of thousands a year don't mean it. You cannot disappear for 2 months and then come back and make a video going, I understand there's some allegations against me. I just want to say that I'm really working hard on myself. I found a psychiatrist. We're discussing my issues. I feel like I'm getting better. One, you didn't acknowledge what you have done in the past at all. You didn't acknowledge the shady shit because you don't want to, because that will compromise everything that you have, the shady shit you have done. And 2 months does fuck all for a serious mental health condition. 2 months is like, the first 3 weeks is just you and this guy just getting to know each other. And then after that, you know, it's very simplistic. The psychiatrist doesn't want to push you too hard. They're just going to ask you no questions, you know, what's your family like. But this idea, like, when you can come back after like 2 months from a very serious mental health diagnosis, is bullshit. This is like years long process, and I'm so sick of like YouTubers just been like, okay, in the resale video every day, which is fine. You want to kind of keep the stream going. But they come out after like 3 or 4 months and go, look at babies, I'm fixed. Woo! Like, you ain't fixed, you're still broken as fuck. But you don't want them, because YouTubers are constantly in fear that they're not going to be relevant anymore. Like, as soon as they disappear from the platform, people are just like, you could upload a video in 8 months and nobody's going to check you out. When most of the time, I'm probably sure if you did have a significant fan base, if you disappeared for 8 months and then you released the video, it's probably going to be one of the most crazy, if you did it well, it's going to be one of the most popular videos you've ever done. So YouTubers out there, stop using mental health as a fucking excuse. I cannot stand it, man. Like, I could go into more detail, but I think this video is going to get my point along, like, long enough, because this video could be 25 minutes for me. But anyway, YouTubers out there, if you're going to discuss mental health, make sure you discuss mental health through your entire run of YouTube. Make sure it's like a thing, a frequent thing, a weekly thing, a month, something. Don't suddenly drop the bomb on your like videos, like when you get caught doing some shady shit, and be like, oh, it wasn't me, it's my mental illness, because you're only making people who suffer from a mental health condition look worse, and you're also not taking accountability for your actions. Thank you for listening. I'll see you all next time.